What's going on, guys? Back for another Power Hour update. We're going to be going over SPY, Bitcoin, the usual. I'm going to go over a couple of stocks that were doing very well today as well, especially Boeing. Probably going to go over a few more. I saw that a lot of the airlines were doing very well. United Airlines, Delta, Southwest. There was a couple of stocks in the banking industry that were doing well as well. Wells Fargo, a couple other ones I can't remember. And then there was a couple of hotels as well. So MGM was another one doing very well today. We're going to go over a few of those. SPY is pretty green today. You had a pretty strong gap up start of the day right after the strong close of yesterday. Yesterday you had that that push right as the closing bell came in, and then gapped up today and basically maintained an uptrend all day. Currently seeing a new break into a daily high. We were pulling back a little bit off that break, coming back into the trail. But the 1 minute, you can see here, if we go towards the morning session, you were basically bullish the entire time. You were white on the OTS throughout the entire morning session. You also had a couple of buy the dip signals on the OTS. All the pivots that came in were broken pretty quickly. Also flipped into support. Once you came into lunchtime, you started to pull back on this failure to break into a well, it did break into a new high of the day, but look at the momentum here. So we saw a little bit of a bear div come in on that break into a new high of day. So it pulled back into the trail, pretty typical. Tried to bounce a little bit. You also have the 50 EMA kind of supporting you below the trail there. Once you kind of consolidate on that support, the trail flipped red. You flipped black on the OTS, and then you saw that pullback down towards the lows. So this was lunchtime, pretty standard time of day for SPY to pull back. Pulled back during lunchtime, so here's where lunchtime is over, right around 1 p.m. We have a nice little kind of double bottom coming in. The Momo is giving you a slight bull div here. A very slight bull div. You had a bottom warning as well. So warning you that a bottom was incoming. Off of that bull div, you started to bounce. Kind of failed that resistance from your previous daily high. But then once we broke through that, once we pulled back to support, we broke through that. So we pulled back to support, right where that bull div bounced us up. You have that kind of double bottom turning into a triple bottom, almost like an inverse head and shoulders. Same mentality as an inverse head and shoulders. You have kind of the neckline right here, and then once you have that pivot come in, you also have the support coming in from the Momo, giving you a bottom warning. We broke through that neckline, turned green or white on the OTS, and then we've basically just been riding this uptrend ever since. So now we're starting to pull back a little bit. You can see here, for this to maintain a healthy uptrend, you really had to stay kind of above the trail, kind of around 312.25. But we are pulling back below the trail. You are below the pivot as well. You're below the 50 EMA. You're currently bouncing off of it right now. Negative momentum on the Momo. Good sign of support that could come in here. You do have an old pivot where you are bouncing. You also have a point of origin a little bit lower, which you bounced off of pretty much perfectly. You do have a little bit of support here. If you break through this support, most likely going to come back down towards these lower pivots, kind of around that 311 range, 311.50. But for right now, just kind of a pullback, not really into a downtrend just yet. If you look at this on the 5 minute, very clear that we were uptrending throughout the entire day. Broke into a new daily high. little bit of distribution, maintain that support on the trail. Once the trail gave you those buy signals, you started to bounce again, and now we're kind of just consolidating on the high. You are losing momentum on the Momo. Let's take a look at the 15. 15-minute is forming a bear div, but it's not confirmed, so this does indicate that you can continue higher. You can see that the momentum is still climbing, so if the momentum continues to climb with price, you could easily break this bear div, right? So you could just continue higher, and you could create a new peak, and you would eliminate that bear div. So it's not confirmed. You are forming it, but nothing just yet. 1 hour still shows strong momentum. You have a little bit of a top exhaustion coming in. Probably why we are consolidating a little bit here. But for the most part, very bullish, very strong momentum. You can see where this initial consolidation back here last week, you had that pop up off the trail, and then you had that the white candle start to come in, giving you that bullish strength. And you can see the Momo, the big difference of the Momo. Very choppy on the Momo here, and then you went negative, but then you flipped positive here, and you've been positive basically ever since. So you have a strong momentum still maintaining on the 1 hour buy. Hey, what's going on, JMA? I saw you were trading Tesla and Boeing, and you were doing pretty good. Boeing, that level that we were talking about in our DMs, the 170 level on Boeing got hit. It was a pretty good, where is it? Pretty good take profit there. You have this pivot back here on 170 on Boeing, which was hit pretty nicely today. Currently breaking through that pivot, but very, very good take profit. Very strong momentum the last couple of hours on today. You're going to look back to get in on a pullback. You closed on the pivot, yeah. Yeah, pivot's a good place to close, definitely. I think, like, obviously the daily looks really good. The daily could continue higher to probably like 182. Towards the top of this range right here. But that pivot was a pretty clean take profit. The weekly could also go to the trail around 197. Looking at the short term, looking at the fib level here, if you take the breakout fib, the fib from the breakout all the way up, and then you had your consolidation, that 0.13 is kind of that fake out level, and we're currently breaking above it, so still bullish. If it pulls back into the high, that's where you would look for support, kind of around 169.50 to like 167. Looks pretty good though. A couple of other ones that were picked up on the scanner today. Lyft was doing pretty good today. Pretty strong breakout. Looks really good. You're towards the top of that range though. So it could pull back, which it currently is. But as long as it maintains above like 31, 32, this thing could go higher. You have a very clean uptrend on Lyft here, which lines up with its supports. So if you do see a little bit of a pullback on Lyft, you could easily break out of this range. And once you break that range, your targets are around like 40 to 48. Could be a really strong level. A couple of other stocks that were doing good today on our scanner. Wells Fargo. Pretty strong range breakout here. You are getting above the lows. Getting above the 50 EMA as well. Trail is flipping green. That pivot came in. You flipped the pivot. That was kind of your initial buy signal. Momo gave you a bottom warning as well. Wells Fargo is definitely one to watch. Couple of other ones. Disney looked really good. Disney breaking out today, same thing, really strong uptrend. You're actually performing a fork here, which is very bullish. You're forking off of this older trend into a newer trend. So Disney could really start to climb. Definitely would keep an eye on Disney. Tesla, yeah, I can take a look at Tesla. Tesla failing that initial level that we talked about. Right off that doji. If you're pulling back towards the trend, it could give you another buy. If you do kind of consolidate into the trend or you pull back into the trend, it could give you another buy to play the breakout. Probably 950 to 1,000. But yeah, as long as it's above that trend and you're staying good on the Momo, there's no bear div or anything, looks pretty good. What were the other ones I was looking at today? I posted a couple. Wells Fargo, oh yeah, MGM was one of them. MGM doing very well today, up about 12%. Breaking above the range. You can see how you had a very nice kind of trend flip right there on that range, even on this high here as well. So both of these highs were flipping into support, and now we're seeing that nice little bounce. Heading towards the pivot around 23. No pivots really in between there. You gotta probably one around 22. Weekly coming into that trail. Weekly coming into that pivot as well. 22. Yeah, so 22 is a good level. 23 is a good level as well. Very clean pivot flip here. Look at that. We had that pivot, popped up, used it as support, then we broke out. So looking really good. Most of the lockdown stocks that were doing very bad during the lockdown, like gyms, hotels, airlines, cruise lines, all those stocks, they're doing well right now. They're seeing breakouts. They're seeing nice little uptrends. Probably due to the riots, which is a funny thing. You think the riots would be bad news, but the riots are kind of showing us that the whole lockdown mentality is bullshit, right? They were going completely bonkers like a week or two ago, complaining that the people were protesting the lockdowns, and now we're seeing tens of thousands of people in the streets protesting. So the whole kind of mentality of keeping people locked down because of the coronavirus, that's pretty dead at this point. So the gyms, the hotels, the airlines, the cruise lines, those stocks are starting to perform. Hey Juan, what's going on? Yeah, it has a nice little bull flag on Tesla, yeah. Still a little early, want a little more of a pullback. Yeah, it could pull back to the trend. That could be a nice little entry. But yeah, I think a lot of the like lockdown stocks, they're doing all right. So if you want to keep your eye out for opportunities, I would keep your eye out on most of the lockdown hospitality stocks. Like Wynn. Wynn would be another one. Wynn's doing very well today. What were the other ones? Hilton. What's Hilton's ticker? Oh yeah, Hilton's with a Y, isn't it? Is Hilton with a Y or an I? What's Hilton's ticker? I have it somewhere on one of my lists. It's HLT. Is it with an I? Yeah, it's with an I. I had it right the first time. HLT. Same thing on Hilton. Nice little uptrend. Not doing as well as Wynn or MGM. Coming into a lot of resistance on the weekly. This is very common in a lot of stocks. Where you see that very nice bounce off the lows, off that kind of capitulation. But they're approaching massive resistance. A lot of weekly stocks look like this. So if you haven't been buying in already, buying into a lot of these stocks that are kind of approaching resistance. They're approaching those kind of range lows. It's a little risky to buy into those stocks, right? So be careful on those. One thing to note, the Qs, not the SPY, the NASDAQ here, did it hit an all-time high today? I think it was very close. 23694. No, so the all-time high is 23747. So the Qs are damn near hitting an all-time high, which is quite exceptional. So keep your eye on the tech industry, mainly the FANG. The FANG is has been doing very well. You were hitting all-time highs on the FANG. J May said, I like the pullback on DraftKings as well. Thinking about hopping in. Where are the bears now? Yeah, really. Yeah, it's a little extended. This would be a really hard trade for me. Yeah, that top doji on the weekly, that's a little scary. I actually like the trading you did that. They added, instead of putting the hours, it's 2 days, 1 hour. I like that. But yeah, that top doji on the weekly, that's pretty ugly. Daily is very extended. 4 hours pulling back. Maybe around like 35, 36. That might be a decent place. Anything above that's a little scary. Yeah, I'd probably say mid-30s. Maybe. Mid-30s wouldn't be too far away from the trail either. It's a risky play where it is. It amazes me that DraftKings is even doing what it's doing. Because it's based on sports betting. Fantasy sports, right? They have like League of Legends stuff, so I think they have like one video game. But everything else is sports. And all the sports are closed. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. The NBA has an announcement today. I was talking with my friends IRL about... I was asking them if they thought that we'll have a Super Bowl not tomorrow, next year. Because if we don't have a Super Bowl next year, that's a fucking big economical hit, right? The Super Bowl brings in lots of money to the economy, even around the entire country, not just where the Super Bowl is held, right? Because everyone goes out and buys a shit ton of groceries and beer and chicken and all kinds of meats and everything for all their cookouts and their parties. It's a massive economical day, right? So if we don't have a Super Bowl next year, that's pretty bad news. But the NFL starts in September, so hopefully by then they'll be okay to start. I think they will. And like my friends were saying, they were saying that even if we're still like half locked down or whatever, they could start their seasons with no fans, which would still be an economical hit. But they could start their season with no fans, kind of empty stadiums. It'd be very strange, but... he said if it's good, I can see people pushing this higher tomorrow. Yeah, if the NBA announces they're going to start up soon, that would definitely be good for DraftKings. Carnival looks ready to pop. If this stays consolidated here towards the top of the range, it looks ready to pop. I'd keep your eye on Carnival as well. I should probably buy some options on our stream account just to play around with. Yeah, the 1 hour looks like it's curling. Like the 1 hour looks like it's finding support, right? Look at this. This looks really good on the 1 hour. On the higher time frames, it looks like it could go deeper. But on the 1 hour, it looks pretty good. Nice little SR flip, nice little curl here. This looks pretty good. But then you look at it on the daily, it's just so extended. Like even if you take a trend line here, It's hard to kind of draw this trend line, but even if you take a trend line here, it's pretty extended. That's why like mid 30s would be very good. Hey Melvin, what's going on? If I took this trade on the hourly, it would be like in, out, right? Like as soon as it starts to kind of push into that high, I'd probably be getting out. Taking a nice little scalp. Get in for the bounce and then just get out. Maybe like close half on the high and then hold half to see if it breaks. If it doesn't break, just close everything. Johnson & Johnson doesn't look bad either. A lot of buy signals coming in here. You're resting above the 50 EMA. You're resting on that pivot. The pivot is still resistance. But if Johnson & Johnson kind of breaks above this consolidation around like 149, 150, this could be pretty good. I'd keep your eye on Johnson & Johnson for sure. %, underlying scalp is huge. Yeah, is that a 10% move? That's how much DraftKings is moving? Holy shit, that is a 10% move. Yeah, that's massive. How expensive are their options right now? I signed in. I don't know if I'm signed in here. No, I'm not signed in. Let me sign in real fast. There we go. You can see the market's really green today. Sector's doing well. Real estate's doing well. Which is funny because most of the cities are rioting and burning down businesses. Real estate is performing. That's pretty funny. What was I doing here? I was taking a look at options. So what's today? Today's the 3rd, so probably the 12th is what you would play. Yeah, they're not too bad. At the money, they're like 250, 260, and then they go lower as you get out of the money, right? So 130, 110. That's not too bad. Implied volatility is pretty high, 130%. Open interest is pretty good on these 45s. Where's 45? Yeah, exactly what we were just talking about. Oh, you just entered the 45s? Yeah, there you go. 45s. It's funny, we caught the same ones. Yeah, 45. That is the one that I would play too. The 612 45s, exactly. Yep. High open interest. Good volume. Price isn't too bad. The next ones are the 50s. They're at 75 cents. Those are a little too expensive for buying that far out, in my opinion. Let me throw on the delta here. Hey, Bitmask, Keytoy. How you guys doing, man? What's the delta on those? 0.12. I've never used their chart function. Let's see what it does. I think it's only for multiples. Oh yeah, there you go. If you bought them here, your break even would be 46.65. If it made its way to 50, you'd make $300. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. $50 would be pretty high, though. I would sell them probably around 44, 45. You just bought 6 of the 45 calls. That's not bad. Honestly, I might buy some on my stream account. It's not a bad play. It's a little risky. I think this is a play where you would immediately close it tomorrow if you were red, right? What are you thinking? Would you close this tomorrow or would you hold on to it? Because in my mind here, if this goes red tomorrow, it's pretty bad news. If it breaks any support, I'm out immediately, yeah. Yeah, I think, like, if it gets below $40, that'd be a red flag. Maybe, like, 39.80. Because you do have a little bit of accumulation down here. I don't like how it's reacting to this pivot here. On the 5-minute. Yeah, the 1 hour looks the best. Out of all the time frames I'm looking at, the 1 hour looks really good. 4 hours turning green again. The daily looks horrendous. Oh, no, actually, the daily doesn't look that bad. The weekly is what looks horrendous. But if you close this... What's today? Wednesday? If you close this tomorrow or Friday, I think you'd be fine. Because this could easily pop up on the weekly and then still be a doji. No way in hell I'd hold this over the weekend, though, with a doji like that. Yeah, exactly, J-Man, yep. If you hold this over the weekend and the weekly closes like that, you're getting destroyed on Monday. What time is it? 3:30? I could pick like one contract up on my stream account just to play it out. See how it goes. It's not a bad bet. Basically, if you gap down tomorrow or you close negative, or you open negative tomorrow, just close it. And then if you start running, you would look to take profit around the pivot, 42.50, or around the high, around 45. And you said there's an NBA announcement tomorrow? So this is actually almost like a fundamental play. Because if the NBA announcement's bad for sports, or bad for the NBA, then DraftKings will probably go down. Oh, it's tonight? Yeah, but it's after hours, technically, right? So it's an after hours. It's almost like an earnings play, right? So even more risky. I like how the Momo looks right here. It is losing that top, though. It's a little scary. Trying to look at how it reacted back here. Well, historically speaking, on the 1 hour, every single one of these buy signals played out. Every single one of them. And now we're having 4 more. But every single one of those buy signals was April 6th. Yeah, so every single one of those buy signals was pretty tight. Now we're kind of extended. It's a hard call. Part of me thinks it could easily hit mid-30s. Part of me could also see the breakout here. Not a lot of good volume here on the dip. I'll come back to it in like 10 minutes. We'll take a look. I mean, with the SPY climbing like this, the SPY is definitely helping. Slight 5-minute bear div here on the SPY. Still forming the 15. 15 looks good, though. Aren't Johnson & Johnson options really expensive? What are like the 152s here? No, I haven't been playing SPY lately, Moneybag. 152.50s. They're not that bad, 42 cents. Not a lot of open interest or anything, though. 152.50s would be right here. What is... Oh, June 12th is... next Friday, okay. They're about 48 cents, 47 cents. That's not bad. The Q's is resting on an all-time high. The SPY is climbing. So right here is honestly not a bad place to buy calls for other stocks, right? Because if the SPY continues to climb, or even without the SPY, if the Q's goes into an all-time high tomorrow, it will bring the SPY up, right? Because that's a lot of hopium, right? That's a lot of like FOMO that will pull into the SPY. So if the Q's hits an all-time high tomorrow, if the SPY continues slightly bullish, all of the stocks that are like big companies, the 5 billion plus, they should be doing very well tomorrow. So any calls today are not that bad of an idea. Yeah, the Dow Jones looks really good. Dow Jones is over the pivot. Really strong momentum coming in as well. Are you in a bunch of calls, JMA, or just you just playing? I know you closed Tesla, you closed Boeing. You just got in DraftKings. Are you in any other ones? Hey, Melvin, he said, you talked about different shaped volume profile. Is there such thing as a B shape? Yeah, I talked about it. I talked about a positive B. Or sorry, capital B. Capital B, D, and P, and then lowercase b. Those are the 4 shapes I use. This is neutral. This is bullish. This is bearish. This is based on wherever the secondary range is. The secondary range is on the top, then it's bullish. The secondary range is on the bottom, then it's bearish. Yeah, looking at the Dow, looking at the SPY, looking at the Qs, today and tomorrow would not be a bad idea for calls on other big cap stocks, right? Johnson & Johnson I like. I like DraftKings as well. I've had money on this on the stream account for us to play around with for a couple weeks now. We haven't messed around with it yet. We could take a few stabs at these. We have 20 minutes until it closes, so I would have to buy the ask to get in. I couldn't risk playing the bid. If I bought the ask on these, they'd be $50. What was DraftKings? DraftKings was like 150. DraftKings was, yeah, about 160 for the ask. They're down 24% today. That's not bad. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys decide since it is a stream account, so I'll let you guys decide. Should we take calls on DraftKings and Johnson & Johnson? Johnson & Johnson, if we do take it, I'm going to take the 152.50s. And then DraftKings, I'm going to take the same ones JMA did, the $45 June 12th. If it closes red tomorrow, I'm going to close both of them. So immediate, or not even a close. If it turns red tomorrow and starts breaking supports, so Johnson & Johnson probably below 147, I'd close it. DraftKings below probably 48, 39.50, I'd close it. JMA wants us to take DraftKings. I can try to get filled on DraftKings. I could buy the ask at 160. It's a little expensive for the stream account. The stream account currently has, I think, like $400. Yeah, $400 in the stream account. A little scary where it is right now, because this thing could roll over pretty quickly. DraftKings I'm really iffy about. The 1 hour looks clean, but everything else is kind of scary. 1 hour cup and handle. Yeah, it could. Johnson & Johnson looks like a better move. I can take both of them. I like Johnson & Johnson. I need to get in Johnson & Johnson because it's moving right now. If I would have gotten in Johnson & Johnson when I called it, like what, 10 minutes ago, it's already run. Run a little bit. It's a strong close on Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, I'm going to try to take this. I like Johnson & Johnson. We'll take this on the stream account. It's cheap as well. It's only like $50. We're going to take the weeklies, June 12th. 152.50s. The volume's decent. Open interest is it's really low, but it's good enough for us to get in and out. I would have to buy the ask, I believe. Unless it wants to pull back here, I could probably put a bid in. Here, I'll put a bid in. The bid's 50. Yeah, I probably won't get filled on that. Here's a little bit of a pullback. Okay, let's see. I really like that it tells you the max loss, break even, max profit. This is my first options buy here on Webull. I like that a lot. Oh, so it actually tells you the actual bid and the ask here. There's a 7-cent gap. I'm not sure why they're different here. These might be different levels. So the bid is actually way higher. It's around 63. Are these delayed? They might be delayed. Okay, the quotes are delayed. That's why. I don't have live data on the options. That's a falling wedge on the 1 hour too. On Johnson & Johnson, you mean? Yeah, look at that. It's getting ready to break out, too. Oh, DraftKings, yeah. Johnson & Johnson's getting ready to break out, it seems. Alright, it's going to start breaking out here. Let's see. Losing momentum, going to pull back. And then it will probably break out. I'm going to put in a bid. It's 65. If it doesn't fill, we've got 15 minutes. If it doesn't fill in the next 10 minutes, we will buy the ask. Make sure everything's right here. 152.50, June 12th. Yep. Okay. Max loss 65. That's if we let it expire. We're not planning on doing that. Break even's 153.15. Max profit unlimited. Yep. Looks good. Alright, we put it in. I think it filled. I think that noise was it filling. Let me go. Yeah, it did fill. Okay. So here is our... Let me make sure this doesn't show anything that I don't want to show. I think it's good. This is our... These are our open trades. So we have OP&T still. This was my free stock. I just never sold it. And then here is the Johnson & Johnson, which we're already up $2. So, not bad. Let's take a look at DraftKings. So I'm going to hold. Yeah, DraftKings pulling back a little bit here. I might be able to get filled if we do want to buy this. Only 15 minutes left in the market. Let me post in Discord real fast about Johnson & Johnson. Eastern for the NBA announcement. 11:30 p.m. That's pretty late, isn't it? I guess they're probably mainly focused on West Coast, so... Oh, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow AM, okay, gotcha. If it wants to give me a strong sell-off here, I'll buy this. So once we start trading live on the... Well, we just started trading live, but once we start really getting into it on the stream account, I'm going to throw some more money in there so we can play around with it. Probably give it another $300, $400. Maybe we could throw it up to 1,000 or something. Play around with 1,000. Do like a $1,000 challenge. Start with 1,000 and see where we go. It's a little high for most people though. The thing that I wanted to do with the stream account is I wanted to make it kind of a smaller account, so where all of my viewers that are using small accounts, if they want to watch the stream and kind of follow along, then they can. $1,000, I mean, for most big traders that's nothing, but for most people that are viewers, that's a little high. I think 500 is a better point for viewers than 1,000. But we'll see. So $45 calls, let's see. I'm not sure if this is live. I know this is delayed because I don't have options data. I need to get options data on this account. So I'll do that. So we know what the live prices are. Yeah, I agree, JMA. If this 1 hour plays out... Oh, damn, that thing nuked there. I could have grabbed that. Did the Qs just hit an all-time high? I think it did. 23747, 237... No, literally, the high is the all-time high. So if this breaks into a new high here, this is the all-time high. To the exact penny. This is the all-time high. Look at the volume coming in. People know this. Hey, Zig, what's going on? SPY is nowhere near its all-time high. But the Qs, it just tapped it. Seems like it's a fake out right now, selling off. That sucks, I missed that sell-off on DraftKings. It's already up almost 2%. Did Johnson & Johnson break out? Our options contract is moving here. Oh, it did, but then it pulled back. Johnson and John, look at the stocks, man. The stocks know the Qs is hitting an all-time high. You're getting a lot of volume coming in. Johnson & Johnson still resting on that resistance. It gets above that resistance, it should fly. What do we have? 8 minutes left? I have to decide now if I want to buy this. It all depends on that NBA announcement, right? So if the NBA announcement's good, you said it's at 11:30 tomorrow, so that's going to give the DraftKings like 2 to 3 hours to kind of go nuts tomorrow morning. It might be too risky of a play for the stream account. Yeah, you need some strong hands, exactly. It's going to go nuts tomorrow morning, most likely. I don't know. I think I'm going to hold off on it. I'm probably going to regret it tomorrow, but I think I'm going to hold off. At least you're in it, so you can brag about it if it goes up. There's just nothing telling me to buy it right now. Like, there's no, like, definite buy this right now. If I caught it on that sell-off there, I would have liked it. I'm trying to get myself to see something here, but I just don't see it. The 1 hour is the only thing that I see. This is the kind of pattern, though, that, like you said, like if this thing breaks out, I think you're going to go into a... You're going to break the all-time high on this. This should go easily to 45. I wish we had more time, man. I wish this was happening around lunchtime and I had more, like 2 more hourly candles. If I had 2 more hourly candles, this would be an easy decision. I got 5 minutes. Nice background music. Yeah, it's a 24/7 piano on YouTube. Pretty good. Fuck it, man. It's a stream account. These are our first 2 trades on the stream account. If I lose this trade, I'm just gonna blame you anyway. So, it's not my fault, right? So either way, it's a win-win. We win, it's my fault, right? If we win, it's me. If we lose, it's you. So, it's a win-win for me. Alright, what's the price at right now? The bid's 135, the ask is 145. I could buy the ask here. I was willing to pay 150 anyway. Just market it here. Actually, I'm not going to do market because it might screw me. I'll do 145. Alright, guys. Everybody remember, if we lose this trade, it's JMA's fault. Place order. Am I buying the right one? June 12th, 45. Yep. Alright, I think we got instantly filled. Let me check. Yeah, we got instantly filled. Okay. So we bought 2 calls on our stream account, guys. We got the Johnson & Johnson. What was it? The 152.50 for June 12th. And then we got the DraftKings $45 June 12th. So our first 2 trades on the stream account. I think $400 is a pretty good spot for the stream account. I think 500, 600 would be better. But like I said, once you get above like 1,000, a lot of people with like the smaller accounts that are trying to start day trading, they're not really following along there. JMA, if you want to do like a little challenge, I know you have a small account. DM me like what size is your small account? Because we could do like a little small account challenge with options. I'm down. Yeah, we have a tight stop, but stops don't work overnight, right? So we'll see what DraftKings does. Does DraftKings usually gap? I don't. So DraftKings is pretty good. Knock on wood. There's not a lot of gaps here. Whatever you want to start with, okay. I've already got 400. I could bump it up, but like I said, I think anything above 1,000, the stream's probably gonna not gonna be able to follow along too much. But I think we need to have at least like probably 500 or 600 so we can play multiple contracts. You know what I mean? But I'm down to throw in 1,000. It's up to you. Here, let's ask the stream. Everybody in stream, for you guys who like want to start trading options with like a small account just to play around with, what would you start with? What do you guys want us to start with, so you guys can kind of like follow along and play along with us? These 2 trades today don't count. Okay, they count if they win. If they don't win, they don't count. No, yeah, we'll start another one. I don't know, man. DraftKings and Johnson & Johnson are okay. Okay, it doesn't count. Never mind. Johnson & Johnson's pulling back. So I got a good fill on Johnson & Johnson though. I'm still positive. And for our stream account, I'm gonna have to sell these other things. I'll just move these to my other account. I've got 2 Webull accounts, so I'll just sell them here and then rebuy them on my other account. Yeah, I'm down, man. Keithway said 500. Let's meet in the middle. Let's go. You want to do 750? We could do 750. 750 or 500, whichever one you want to do. You like 750? All right. So I'll deposit whatever. So I'm going to close here. Or yeah, you can deposit. But so what I'm going to do is when I close these 2 contracts, hopefully tomorrow, or so let's say we'll start Monday, right? We'll start Monday. So we'll start Monday, and then I'll close out all of my trades by Friday, and then whatever money that I have, I'll make it exactly 750. And then we'll start Monday with 750. Yeah, Keytoy, that sucks, man. You can't, I don't, does Tasty Trade do, does it have, God, I can't think right now. Does it let people in Europe use Tasty Trade? In the UK? Oh, you do have a Tasty account? Yeah, you could use Tasty, Keytoy, if you want to follow along with us. It's up to you. Anybody in stream, you guys are welcome to follow as well. I'm down, man. I'm down. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll close out my trades by Friday, and then I'll bring my account to 750 to start Monday. And then we'll trade it. And we'll do only options. We'll do only options, no stocks. Or do you want to do stocks and options? I think sticking to one would be better. I think only options would be cool. And then we could put like a time limit on. It's not like a competitive thing. Like we're not playing against each other. But I think it's more of like a content thing, right? Like give it a 750 start, 30-day time frame. See how much you can build it to, right? And we got to get rid of that fear, right? We got to get rid of that fear for a lot of people who are using small accounts. Like when I started with options and I was using a small account, when you look at options and you're like, oh, this thing's $150, this thing's $200, and you only have $500 in your account, you're like, okay, well, I can't trade that. But if you understand how to trade those contracts, even though they're higher, you'll still be okay. Just don't let it expire, right? Don't let it go down to zero, because then you'll wipe out half your account. Okay, so the market closed here. I was wondering why I wasn't moving. The market closed. So we closed positive on both of our contracts. We already made $9 on our Johnson & Johnson, $10 on our DraftKings. Not bad. This scares me a little bit going into tomorrow with 2 calls. Seeing that we hit an all-time high on the Qs and then instantly rejected. And that led the SPY down. That's a little scary. That is like the opposite of what we wanted to see. DraftKings doing good. Doing well over on after hours. Johnson & Johnson not really moving. But yeah, that's a little scary for tomorrow. But like I said, man, it doesn't count anyway, so who cares? Sorry, I was looking at something in Discord. I'm getting spammed in one of these channels. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I told you guys, let me pull it up over here real fast. I told you guys I was going to be giving out free trials on the indicators. And I posted a tweet earlier today. Here is the link. If you guys would like a free trial on any of our indicators, here is the link. All you guys got to do is follow, retweet, and then comment your username with your with which indicator you want to trial. So once you guys do that, I'll be adding all of you guys in the next day or two. What's going on, John? Oh yeah, let me send you the link, JML. I'll get it to you. So here's the link. Put it in Twitch chat and YouTube if you guys want to follow along the options trading little stream account. You guys can make a Webull account with that link, and you'll get a couple of free stocks as well. They're only available in the US currently. So now the market's closed, let's go ahead and go over Bitcoin here. We talked about that massive sell-off on Bitcoin recently. Basically, one of the biggest BART patterns we've ever seen on Bitcoin. You had a nice little bottom coming. We talked about that bottom. Had a slight bull div on the 5-minute right here. Pretty much perfect bull div. Created that accumulation. We've basically just been accumulating since then. We're coming into the trail and the 50 EMA. A little bit of resistance. Kind of that same point of origin before we broke out. But nothing has changed, right? So you have the resistance on your high, your range high, right? You have your range low. Until that range is broken, there's no reason to really pick a direction here. This is just consolidating. There's no real reason to pick a direction. My bot just traded. I think it's actually in a long currently. So my bot took a long. I think it's taken 2 trades during the chop. One of them was stopped out. But yeah, pretty clean range here. Slightly bullish. You're hovering towards the highs, but nothing too definitive to either side. So until the range is broken, I would just continue to kind of market make and play the range trades. Yeah, you just saw that, JMA. It's disgusting, dude. It's absolutely disgusting. It popped up to 10.5, 10.4, and then nuked down to 8.6. Disgusting. It didn't only happen on MEX. MEX is just a lot lower. If we go to the other exchanges, pretty much all of them bounced around here. Around like mid 9s, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5. But it still happened on all the other exchanges. Just not as bad, right? 9.3, 9.4. Oh yeah, Zig. So it doesn't, Webull doesn't offer, they're not available in the EU yet. They are working on that though. Yeah, I talked to them not too long ago. They said they're working on it. They said it's actually ready. They're just waiting on the approvals from the different regulatory bodies in Europe. But yeah, guys, it's really that simple on Bitcoin. There really is not a whole lot of TA you got to do here. It's pretty much just ranging after a massive sell-off, getting that liquidity back. You're kind of resting on a pivot here on the 1 hour. You got a lot of supports below you towards the low 9s, like 9.2, 9.3, 9.4. A lot of supports in that area. I think if you were leaning to one side, I think if this can't get back above its older range, kind of like right around here, 9.7, 9.8, this is definitely leaning bearish, right? This looks like a failed breakout. It looks like it was ranging, tried to break out, then nuked. So I think if you're leaning to one side, it would definitely be leaning bearish, at least back into the previous supports around the high 8s, 8.9, That'd be a good place to keep an eye on. A lot of people targeting 7966. Yeah, it's a little low for right now, I think. I think right now I would definitely be targeting like high 8s first. I don't like going that far out. You guys know me. I like taking it slower, going piece by piece, support by support. I don't like calling levels that are that far away. I think high 8s is a pretty strong support for now. Yeah, I posted it in chat, JMA. I'll also send it to you in DMs. Yeah, have a good one, man. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to trial out any of the indicators, I'm going to be releasing one of those tweets every week. So you can try out multiple indicators. I just posted it earlier today. You can find it on my Twitter. All you got to do is follow, retweet, post your username, whatever indicator you want to use. And then I'll be posting another one next week as well. The VIX is down 5% today, still falling as the Qs are ripping up. Very sketchy here, like I said, to be holding our calls for tomorrow. We're making a big bet. Because if the Qs reverses and breaks into a new all-time high, our calls will fly for sure. But if it fails down tomorrow, and this was like a head fake, our calls are probably going to pay for it. If you guys are just coming in, we bought some calls on DraftKings and Johnson & Johnson on our stream account. The little account that we made to our streaming challenge, we bought a couple of calls here. We're going to start the real challenge with JMA next week. It's not really a challenge. This is more of a fun thing. Trying to grow a small account. Taking risky plays. Because that's what you have to do if you want to grow a small account. I mean, you could take it a lot easier and build it up over a long period of time, but we're going for more of the risky play. But DraftKings looks really good here. Kind of a descending triangle, which is slightly bearish. But this little curved bottom here, this little curl, this looks like a really good breakout pattern. Where if we're buying a little early, right? So you typically would want to buy somewhere around here if you start to break above this level. But getting in a little early here gives us the opportunity to make a lot more profit when this thing does break. So this thing breaks out to around 43, 45. These calls will be really profitable. Johnson & Johnson, basically the same thing here. You're kind of curling on the 1 hour, getting a lot of support coming in. Nice higher lows. 4 hour is resting right on a support. If you do start to climb here, same as the daily, resting on a support. If this starts to break above 149, this thing will start to run. And you should easily be able to get to around 152 or around 156. Both of these plays are early because it's Wednesday already. So we only have 2 days left in the week. We do not want to hold over the weekend. So we had to buy them early today. We can't really wait till tomorrow. It doesn't give us enough time to kind of play them, right? So we're holding on to them overnight. Might close tomorrow. We'll see. DraftKings is really scary on the higher time frame. So the daily, the weekly, very scary. Weekly, you do not want to hold anything on DraftKings over the weekend, because if this weekly closes like this, this should nuke. And I might even look to take some puts if the weekly looks like this on Friday. The daily looks pretty good, but I wouldn't say pretty good. It looks better than the weekly, but it doesn't look too bullish, right? You're getting a pullback. You're pretty extended. but it looks better than the weekly. So you still have a day or two that you could climb and retest that high, and that's what we're hoping on. I like this bottom wick here on the daily. Really strong buy up here. I'm looking for continuation of that buy up into tomorrow's open. So if we start to turn red basically during tomorrow's open, probably going to have to close. JMA said there is an announcement tomorrow for the NBA. So if you guys are not familiar with DraftKings, they do a lot of sports betting. They do a lot of fantasy sports. So the NBA has an announcement tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. So if the announcement is them saying that they're going to open up the NBA season and they're going to start playing games, that's going to be very bullish for DraftKings. If it's the other way around, then it's going to look pretty bad. So hopefully it doesn't dump really hard before the announcement, because I do want to hold it into the announcement. So we'll see how it goes. Johnson & Johnson, nothing fundamental about it, just purely technical. Looking for that breakout. Little sketchy, as I said, with the SPY kind of selling off here because the Qs is failing the all-time high. Definitely not what you want to see going into the close. Yeah, it's already pulling back pretty hard here, so not too good here on the after hours. Down 0.5%. What about DraftKings? Selling off a little bit. Johnson & Johnson steady. So we'll see. We'll see how it opens tomorrow. A little scary here. Seeing that pivot come in. Seeing that sell off on the Qs. Would be really nice if it just kind of failed down a little bit over after hours, then bounced right up into the close tomorrow. Or sorry, into the open. But alright guys, with that said, I'm going to close the stream down. Do you guys have any final questions or anything you want me to take a look at before we go? I do appreciate you guys all being here. If you're new to the stream, you could follow me on Twitch. You could subscribe on YouTube. I do stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Do you watch Grayscale? Ethereum is crazy. No, I don't watch Grayscale. It just basically follows Bitcoin. I think that's what you're talking about, right? You're talking about Grayscale, the stock. The hedge fund, basically. Yeah, Ethereum also looks pretty good, but it's the same thing as Bitcoin, right? Ethereum looks more bullish, as it always does. Looks more bullish than Bitcoin here. Looks like you have kind of reclaimed that support. So I would lean bullish slightly on Ethereum, but Bitcoin looks more bearish. So it depends on what's going to lead, right? If Bitcoin leads, probably going to be bearish. But if Ethereum leads, I would watch above like 245. If it gets above 245, could be pretty strong. Ethereum premium on Grayscale is insane. Yeah, I don't check any of that. I'm not sure what that is. But alright guys, I'm going to close it down. Like I said, if you guys want to get involved in our indicators, you guys want to test them out for free, I'll send the link one more time. Just follow the instructions on this tweet, and I will be giving access to the indicators probably today or tomorrow. And then I'll be posting another one next week as well. But alright guys, you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Peace out, guys.